How do you find, Laurie, the current situation with the air defenses in Jordan? For example, it's one of the most important ones because I think
What? Wait,
the
wait, 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 wait. What air defenses?
Patriot system, if I'm not mistaken, Pac 3 is in
I, I,
Jordan.
I, I return to my question. What air defenses? Okay, you can see the videos. There are four missiles fired up. Actually, six missiles on this one video. I don't know if those are Pac 3s or Roman candles or what, but they all fly happily off and do nothing. And then in come two missiles. Boom, boom. You, they have no air defense. The Patriot system has been exhausted. If there are a few hundred left, they've got a few hundred left, and those will be quickly exhausted because, as we saw in that video, they fired at least 4 to 6 of these missiles. If those are Pac 3s, well, they're done, and they didn't do a thing to stop the inbound missiles. So that's why I'm saying, you talk about air defense. What air defense? They have no air defense. That's why Iran is pounding the two main air bases in Jordan.
Yesterday in Iraqi Kurdistan, they were using CRAM air defenses. CRAM is, it's an American air defense. It's just trying
It's
to
just
hit.
it's just a bunch of it's a high speed, high volume bullets being fired that try to intercept. And that failed too. Okay.
Yeah, I had a footage of that. I wanted to show it here, but uh, let me just see if this is the footage. Now this shows the secondary, explosions in the Iraqi Kurdistan, and but you see the CRAM air defense system is trying to hit the. It's not a missile. It's a drone going to the target. It even misses the drone. The drone goes and hit the target behind the air defense system. Some targets, it was a base or something of that sort, which
Yeah.
was hit.
Yeah. I mean, they said, "Oh, look, all the air, what are here? Oh, Kuwait's air defense system is shooting down all the missiles." Oh, please. We saw the other night 2 drones got through. So if their air defense system is work, those if they had any kind of competent air defense system, it should have shot down the drones. It's not. They're not like hypersonic missiles. So no, you've got you've got the 2 air bases in Jordan. Yeah, Muwafaq al Salti, also the Muwafaq Salti Air Base, also known as King Abdullah, and the Prince Hassan Air Base, or Mafraq. So those are going. I think they're going to get hammered again tonight. And I think we're at the stage where you remember in the first 40 days of the war that they would launch wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Iran would have launched wave after wave after wave of ballistic missiles. That's what they're going to be doing.
In the UAE, we know that the Israelis, they have sent air defense systems, some part of Iron Dome, if I'm not mistaken. It's something similar to Iron Dome in the UAE. How do you compare the capabilities of the Iron Dome comparing to the Patriot system that they have in Jordan?
Well, I'll let you answer the question. During the first 42 days, when Israel was getting shellacked with these ballistic missiles, 2/3 of the air defense missiles that were fired were U.S. PAC-3 and THAADs. Only 1/3 were Iron Dome and David Sling. They're even less competent than Patriot. Yeah, the Israelis and U.S. air defense systems are crap.
How Larry, they have something like 4 THAAD system, if I'm not mistaken, in the region. and all of them, it seems, are located in Israel. None of them is out of Israel in one of these GCC countries, because they, before the war started, they had something like 9 THAAD systems, and
But,
during the war,
yeah, but don't focus on the number of launchers.
Hmm.
Focus on the number of missiles, and that's the key. It's like the total number. I wrote about this extensively 4 months ago, and you can read it at sonar21.com. Where I went through the numbers, as of 3-4 months ago. So what the United States started off with at 4 years ago was 6,000 total PAC-3s, and then the number that were used in Ukraine, at least 1,000 of those got used up, and there were another 1,000, 2,000 that were sent to other countries. Then the United States used some, and a number were used during the 12-day war, and now a number. It's just they're literally down to I think much less than 1,000, probably less than 500. It's in a critical stage, and Lockheed Martin can't produce more of them right now because no rare earth minerals, or what they produce is in a very limited supply, because they're drawing up on a limited stock of whatever rare earth minerals supplies are left in the United States.
even the I don't know what you hear from the Pakistani sources, but the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that the memorandum of understanding must be adhered to and further escalations avoided. At this moment, I see no one in Iran talking about the MOU anymore. But the
No, it's
Pakistanis
they
believe
declared
that,
they declared it dead, right?
yeah,
So, but who was the first one to declare the MOU was no longer applied? Was it Iran or was it the United States?
yeah, it was the United States.
Okay, so if Pakistan's got anything to say on this, say it to Trump. Tell Trump, hey, you comply with this. Trump has broken every single paragraph of that agreement. And Iran's now said, okay, that agreement is no longer valid. It's a void. It's dead. And as we mentioned earlier, if it comes back, if they try to get back to the MOU, Iran's not going to say, oh, okay, let's give it another shot. No, it's politically unpopular in Iran, for starters. So the United States is going to have to do very concrete things, such as immediately unfreezing some assets, lifting all of the sanctions, get the blockade, stop with the blockade, and lift other sanctions as well. Iran's not going to screw around on this. They've done enough. Oh, trust me, bro. We'll live up to this agreement. The United States hasn't lived up to a single damn agreement that it's signed. It broke the ABM. It broke the INF. It broke the MOU. It broke JCPOA. Give me one agreement that the United States has signed on to and held up its end of it. I can't think of one.
Larry, what has happened with that base in Syria? Iran attacked a base in Syria. They said that the American special forces are there or were there.
Yeah, forget about Al-Tanf.
Yeah.
Forget about it. That's not an important base anymore. That's not a key base. Hasn't been since U.S. Started pulling its forces out of Syria after we got al-Shara in power. So hitting that is, that's on the feel-good list, but it's not as tactically or strategically important. I think Iran, if they're hitting it with missiles, they're wasting missiles and drones.
It seems to me that they wanted to send some sort of message or some sort of warning, because if there is nobody there,
well, that's
why
what
do you need?
Send the message where it counts. Send the message to Kurdistan or Erbil. That's what Iran's doing.
Or maybe
Send the
to
message.
Al-Jolani.
Nah. At this point, Iran's not looking to expand the war with Syria, and Jelani up to this point is, even though he's been under pressure to start attacking Hezbollah, I think he smartly recognized, yeah, we don't want to get into that. We go down that path, and because he's going to bite us in the rear end.
Because they had the military advisor to the supreme leader of Iran last night said that if the United States, the next 2 days, it depends on the behavior of the United States. If they try to escalate, we're going to attack each and every base that the United States has in the region. And because they want their strategies to hit all of these targets without considering which country is that. And I don't know what would be the outcome for Donald Trump out of these escalations. If the munitions, if the interceptors are that they're short of ammunition, they're short of interceptors. So what is the main point of continuing this? Taking more casualties? And
well, no. Remember, they believe. It's important to understand. Once you get a belief in your mind and you're acting on that belief, you continue with that belief until you are faced with circumstances that force you to say, I'm wrong. My belief is wrong. Trump has been convinced by the likes, I'm sure, Stephen Miller, Marco Rubio, maybe Hegseth, maybe Ratcliffe, that all we got to do is just put this economic pressure on Iran. Okay, that they can't export oil from Karg Island, that we cut off Bandar Abbas, that Iran will collapse, that they won't be able to continue to block the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that's what they believe. If I was involved, asked to come in and make a presentation to counter that, I would say, okay, let's ask some questions. How many coastal cruise defense missiles does Iran have that we know they have? And the answer is going to be, we don't know. Where are they located? Well, we've identified some sites. Right, you've identified some. You haven't identified all. That's number one. Number two, can those sites, if they're struck, how quickly can Iran reconstruct them or put them back into operation? Is it a day? Is it 2 days? Is it a week? Is it a month? I'd argue it's a very short time period, less than a day, maybe 2 days tops. But that's not their only. That's not their only weapon. They've got mines, and they're doing. I think they're loading up the Omani Strait now with mines. They do that. They don't have to waste any coastal defense missiles. Just let the mines do the work. These ships will invariably run into them. The mini submarines, underwater drones, they still got those. They haven't used those in any quantity yet. So, but the United States, until the United States realizes, okay, we've launched all these airstrikes, we've expended all these missiles, whether it's JDAMs, whether it's harmed missiles, whether it's harpoons, whether it's tomahawks or JASSMs, that we're depleting these stores. We do not have production cycles that can replace what we're using up. So maybe we need to now step back and figure out another alternative. And that's, I think it's going to take them a week and a half to figure that out. And maybe quicker. The more these casualties pile up, the more casualties Iran inflicts on the United States, the less enthusiastic the United States is going to be about continuing this. And then what happens if Iran says, they get enough anti-ship missiles and they're able to they hit one or more of the carriers or the carrier strike groups, a destroyer. That's going to have an effect.
To be honest, I don't see Donald Trump being that concerned about the casualties. The guy doesn't care about anybody but himself. And
Well,
he He said, here is what he said. If Donald Trump reacting to the 3 American soldiers were killed, he said, "Wow, it's so sad. You hate to see it, but we'll never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon." It reminds me of his reaction from his reaction to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It's remarkable. You can see the differences, the way he reacted to Lindsey Graham and to these people who were killed on the battlefield, or to Charlie Kirk. The guy, he doesn't care. Lindsey Graham was important because he was doing a lot for him, lobbying, negotiating, talking, facilitating. He sees everybody as a tool. If you're a good tool, he's going to be. After all, it seems that maybe these sort of casualties would put pressure on the political parties in the United States. I don't know how these.
Yes, it's true. You're right. Trump's a narcissist. He doesn't really care about anybody else, but he cares about himself. And the deaths of these Americans are going to create political pressure that will make Americans hate him more, and he doesn't like to be hated. It does apply pressure, not because he gives, he gives 2 rats' asses for the dead Americans, but it's not. This war is not rallying. You're not seeing the American people rise up and go, "Damn those Iranians, we're going to show them." That's not happening. At least it hasn't happened so far.